At first glance, Jack the Giant Slayer looks like a simple fantasy film. A familiar fairy tale. A brave boy, a kingdom in danger, and giants towering above the clouds. But what if I told you this movie was never meant to feel magical? What if it was designed to feel real, heavy, uncomfortable, and terrifying in a way fairy tales usually aren't? Because hidden beneath the CGI, the castles, and the fantasy armor is a film built on fear, silence, and survival. And once you notice these details, you'll never watch Jack the Giant Slayer the same way again. 1. A fairy tale that refused to be light. Most fairy tales invite wonder. This one invites danger. From the very beginning, the filmmakers made a clear decision. The giants would not feel mythical. They would feel physical. Their footsteps weren't elegant. They cracked stone. Their hands weren't graceful. They crushed bone. Every movement was animated with weight in mind, as if gravity itself struggled to contain them. This wasn't a story about heroes chasing adventure. It was about humans surviving something much larger than themselves. And that decision shaped everything that followed. 2. The giants were built like predators. Here's something most people never consciously notice. The giants don't act like movie monsters. They don't charge blindly. They don't scream constantly. They don't attack without thinking. They hunt. Watch closely and you'll see them pause, tilt their heads, sniff the air. That wasn't accidental. The animation team studied predator behavior. Wolves, bears, even large cats. Predators don't make noise when they know prey is near. They go quiet. They listen. They breathe slowly. That's why some of the most terrifying moments in the film aren't loud at all. They're silent. 3. Why silence was more terrifying than music. In most fantasy films, danger is announced by sound. Music swells. Drums pound. You're told when to feel afraid. Jack the Giant Slayer does the opposite. In key scenes, the soundtrack disappears. No heroic score. No warning. Just breathing. Wind and the sound of something massive being very close. Silence forces the audience into instinct mode. Your brain fills the gap. Your body reacts before your mind does. That's not fantasy storytelling. That's psychological horror technique. 4. The breathing that made skin crawl. One of the most unsettling sounds in the film is the giant's breathing. It's uneven, strained, almost human. That's because it was. Instead of inventing the sound digitally, the sound team recorded real human breathing, heavy, exhausted, trembling breaths. They layered those recordings with stone grinding and deep bass tones, creating something ancient, hungry, and disturbingly alive. You don't hear a monster. You hear something that needs to eat. 5. CGI that wasn't supposed to look like CGI. Here's another hidden truth. Many of the moments people assume are fully CGI weren't. Entire sections of the castle were built practically. Floors were designed to shake. Walls were rigged to collapse. Actors ran through real debris. CGI didn't replace reality. It enhanced it. That's why reactions feel genuine. Fear wasn't imagined. It was experienced. 6. The crown was never just a weapon. The giant control crown might seem like a simple plot device, but symbolically, it changes everything. Without it, the giants are chaos. With it, they become an army. The crown represents control through intelligence, not strength. It flips the power dynamic. The most dangerous being in the room isn't the biggest, it's the one who can command. That subtle message runs quietly beneath the entire story. 7. The giants are smarter than they look. Another detail easily missed: the giants coordinate. They flank. They retreat. They respond to leadership. They don't behave like animals. They behave like soldiers. Once you notice this, the fear deepens, because intelligence makes danger unpredictable. 8. Why this movie feels like a war film. Despite the fairy tale origins, the movie borrows heavily from war cinema. Wide shots of chaos, close-ups of fear, moments where victory feels uncertain. This isn't a whimsical journey, it's a siege. A story about a small world being invaded by something overwhelming. 9. Tiny details that change everything. Watch the eyes, the pauses, the moments before action. Fear isn't in the attack, it's in the waiting. That's where the film does its best work. 10. Why the movie was misunderstood. Many viewers expected magic. What they got was menace, and that mismatch caused the film to be misunderstood. But those who look deeper discover a story about instinct, survival, and control. A fairy tale told like a warning. Jack the Giant Slayer isn't remembered because of its giants. It's remembered because of how it made people feel. Small, quiet, watched. And sometimes, that's the most powerful story of all.